positive lead on the neighbor to the cable bus wires and the negative lead to the metallic braid. The minimum resistance should be 20 ohms. Record test results on record 2 of cable testing reported Thermon installation procedures, Form 50207.
That is true. You do turn in paperwork on the Megger
Install power key connection in accordance with the detailed installation procedures provided with the power connection key. Termination key circular not advanced in these installation procedures. To installation procedures included repeated termination keys or contact termination.
So, these are all the same, even though they look different, right? They all are going to have, so this one here, you drill your own hole. The other 3 are going to have knockouts. And they always have a terminal strip in there. And I never really understood why, because I think wire nuts would work just fine here. But they almost always have that terminal strip in there, which is what?
Why don't you get a broom or something?
What these gray things are, because I like standing on tables.
Got a light in your face.
That's what these are. And inside this box, you're going to see that. Stop. And then inside this box, you're going to see that. And then inside this box, you're going to see that. It's just 3 different termination kits is there. Right?
What is it terminating exactly? Like the trace
So
cable?
the heat trace wire to the incoming power cable from your panel. Right, that wire is only designed to carry power to your device, and the heat trace wire is not really for transferring power, it's for generating heat, right? That cable gets hot to a specific temperature and a specific voltage. So that's what you don't run this stuff all the way back to the panel. It would be really expensive to do, so this wire is not cheap. It's like sometimes 20 and 30 bucks a pop.
You probably would have in the car. I got one in my car.
Yeah, I got one of my cards.
What do you mean the physics on like how? Like how's it get hot? Okay, old school incandescent light bulbs. Everybody remembers it with the filament, right? You look to see if it was bad. If the filament was broke, it was bad, right? They get hot, right? So the reason they get hot is because that filament is a resistor. And so everything has resistance, right? Then when we come back to it getting hot, everything has resistance. The light bulb has resistance. Your skin has resistance. You can hold to it and it'll read if you have a sensitive enough meter. But wire also has resistance. So let me ask you this. So the rated breaker size, this is a question for you personally, the rated breaker size for 12 gauge wire is 20 amps. What happens if we put 80 amps on that? It's going to melt. What happens if we put 30 amps on it? It's going to get a little warm. 40 amps, it's going to get hot. So this is just precisely calculated overcurrent situations that they, right?
That's what I was thinking.
It's exactly what it is. You're right. If you're thinking that, you're absolutely right. They are precisely calculating an overcurrent situation, intentionally making a wire hot, but not so hot that it melts or gets damaged. It's actually made out of different material than most wires are. I think it's copper-clad tungsten. Don't quote me on that. But it is a wire that is less susceptible to melting and damage from heat. That's why it's so expensive. Also because it's like a purpose-driven thing, and they know if you need that, you need it. So we'll charge you whatever the hell we want. Plus a little bit of both, right? It is expensive, more expensive to make than this. But it kind of looks like this. It has like almost like a braided outer jacket on it, which is a little weird. But it's very similar in size, and it's flat like that to make it easy to run flat on pipes. Does that answer your question? Yeah, is that it's a little crazy, right? We're intentionally getting a wire almost to the point where it breaks. That's why everything is so engineered. If you crisscross either of those are too close together and they get too hot, one of them will melt. That's why there's such a specific set of instructions for installing this stuff.
So, and that wire is not electrified at all. Like,
It is electrified.
That's what I'm saying. It wouldn't electrified. Hold it as well.
It's not connected to anything at the other end. At the other end, it's just sitting there. Yeah. It only gets power on one side. Yeah. Sometimes they put a resistor in there if they're trying to do a specific number, but it's never like connected to anything. It's not. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
There's no extra ground in the process?
There is a ground. There's a braid. like coax cable, like Fire One cable, the braids in the shields. There's a braid that's grounded. And that just gives you one line of defense. The braid's between the jacket and the conductors. It gives you an extra line of defense in case of a short. It will short out and trip the breaker, we hope. Because the last thing we want is that pipe to be energized. Imagine if you had a pipe full of propane vapor and you energized it at 277. Like you could potentially ignite what's in the pipe, right? And then that's all cool while it's contained, but the second we open a valve, we might have fire shoot out of something somewhere, which is sketchy. There's a thing called a flare stack where they do that intentionally. We can talk about petroleum refining later, but yeah, so yeah, it doesn't do anything else, just gets hot. That's all. Yeah. A lot of places, a lot of plants now, because they use steam. Steam is usually a byproduct of most industrial processes. There's always steam blow-offs and vents and stuff like that. A lot of places we use copper tubing, like real 1/4-inch copper tubing, and wrap that around the pipe and run their excess steam through that and use it's called steam trace. It does the same thing as this, right? You guys probably have that at that guy. I would imagine you probably do have steam trace somewhere. It's just because, like, why would I raise my electric bill when I'm already using all this electricity to make all this steam that we're using for this when I can just use a little bit of that steam and keep my pipe warm? So you see both right there, about 50-50. In areas where there's no steam in a plant, you're going to be putting this in there. That's what it's going to be.
Fabricate heating cables. Thermal insulation. The need for properly installed and well-maintained thermal insulation cannot be overemphasized. Without insulation, heat losses are generally too high to be offset by a conventional heat tracing system. In addition to piping and inline equipment such as pumps and valves, all heat sinks must be insulated. This includes pipe supports, hangers, flanges, and in most cases, valve bonnets. Verify heat loss consideration when using insulation blankets.
So Greg, to touch back on your question from earlier, they're calling it, instead of saying the beam makes the pipe foot get cold and in turn makes the pipe cold, they're saying that that foot is acting as a heat sink, just like in small electronics. So 6 of one, half dozen of the other, if you ask me, but I think in the engineering world, they're actually completely different things. But it's the same principle. It's just some of that heat's leaving through the excess metal.
You know what's like one of the coolest experiments you can make with thermodynamics that's not really anything crazy? If you have like a coffee cup and you put it on the table and then you take the coffee, just say you leave it there for like 10 minutes, and then now that part of the table is hot because the coffee was there. It's not just that the coffee warmed up the table. The movement of the molecules in the coffee moved the molecules in the cup, and then the cup moved the molecules on the table.
Yeah.
And then all that movement transferred from just from the stove all the way to the table.
You should try to take HVAC after this. When they talk about the vapors and the compression and stuff, it's nuts. It's nuts. Because when you compress those things, they either excite more or excite less.
I think I'm going to do it too.
You don't listen to Juan. He didn't show up every day.
Stop. Stop.
And because I already took electricity, it'd be pretty easier to do another course because I already know how they're going to set the tests and stuff.
I would go talk to them upstairs if you're interested. It can't hurt you to know.
I think they hate me though. I don't think they like me.
Nobody said anything.
They're going to be like, no, get out of here. You suck. You're a bastard.
No, they're going to listen to you. They're 100% going to listen to you.
No, but the thing is, you already put
They don't want any more text messages, dude. They don't want any more screenshots.
I mean, maybe I'll push them then.
They're gonna be like, welcome back.
Regardless of the type of purpose of insulation used, are protected.
You see one of both on the whiskey on their desk is like, oh my god.
But they're being all fake nice and I hate it. Chelsea's like, hi, Greg. I'm like, oh, hello, Chelsea.
Mispronounce her name.
How do you mispronounce Chelsea?
Chesley.
Chelsea?
Yeah, Chesley.
Hey, Jesse.
Anything you can think of. Just if you mispronounce her name and make it different every time, what that's going to read as to her subconscious is he doesn't care about enough about me to remember.
That would work in the beginning if I didn't say her name.
Yeah.
But if I already said her name correct, if I already said her name correct all those times, then I would just look crazy.
Barrier should
I mean, that's a bonus.
protects the insulation.
I have to have done it in the beginning.
They always insulate around this stuff. They always insulate over
Around
this.
all penetrations through the thermal insulation. after installing thermal insulation and weather barrier, but before energizing the heating circuit, the Megger test should be repeated. This should call attention to any damage to the heating cable that may have occurred while installing the insulation.
We're measuring this thing 3 times
Test
already.
Results on record 3 of cable testing report and thermal installation procedures, ORPN 50207. Apply caution labels to insulation weather barrier at 305 centimeter or 10-foot intervals.
Why would we need caution labels?
To dumb people, so that they know that it's hot or it's cold.
No, because it's insulated, right? You're not gonna feel anything on the outside of that pipe.
Oh, because you're cutting, if you're cutting the insulation, you might.
If
cut
you're
the
cutting the
cable.
insulation or if you're cutting the pipe, right? Sometimes they'll mothball whole portions of industrial plants, right?
Mhm.
And they'll cut some of the pipe out or whatever. There's a thing called air gapping where you cut 6 feet of process pipe out at the start so it's visually dead to anybody that looks at it like, oh, nothing can pass through that pipe. But yes, what they'll do is they have these like concrete saws, these big demo saws. They just come in there, That was hot with 277. You got a gas-powered demo saw, they cut through that line. You got a pretty high likelihood of an explosion. So they want to make sure that you know, hey, think about it. Your gas-powered saw, right?
Mhm.
There's even a slight leak in that gas tank or any part of the gas transport system of that saw, it could backlight, right? Right? Am I crazy? And that would, right, it would blow up, right? Yeah. So we want to mark it as, hey, you can't see it, but there's voltage under here, right? A lot of times they can see, like you're like demoing something, they see like, damn, better call an electrician, there's a wire up there. Not the case here, you can't always see it, right?
Final inspection and documentation. It is recommended that the circuit be temporarily energized so that the voltage, amps, pipe temperature, and ambient temperature can be recorded. This information may be of value for future reference and should be maintained for the historical operating data log. Record test results on record 4 of cable testing report and thermal installation procedures, ORPN 50207. Note: to ensure the heating cable warranty is maintained through installation, the testing outlined on the thermal cable testing report must be completed on the installed heating cables. Contact Thermon for additional details. For additional information on this product.
So they definitely keep records of that. And I've been in the position where I was on a job where somebody had to call in a warranty for heat trace cable, and they were like, do you have the installation paperwork? And it was, they eventually did find it. It was not me, it was a foreman I was working for. But it took him like a month because he had to get it from the plant. And they were not gonna warranty like, I think 10 grand or so worth of heat trace wire that was bad from the factory, right? It had gone bad over time, it had broken down the insulation. But they thankfully had all their paperwork and we were able to get a replacement. Everybody take a 15-minute break. Come back here at 25 after, please, and thank you.
Can we skip that other video?
What's that?
Can we skip that other video?
What other video?
We
No, because we already watched one on the hydrocarbons, which was the other thing that we can't get the material for. So that you're already done. What's that? I have to get through the rest of the performance profile stuff. It may end up being tomorrow. Alright?
Dude, I'm gonna I mean, he's still here. He's open to Dude, he's like scurrying around. He's like a rodent.
I just can't believe how strong a magnet is.
Alright. You guys having fun today? Isaac was like, he gave me the biggest fuck you look I ever saw. He was like, yeah, alright, dude. Shut the hell up. Yo, he wasn't here. You almost shot a dude with a compound bow this morning, so everybody watch out. I'm not kidding.
Dude, this is the shit I used to do. Yeah! Dude, look, this is the shit I used to do.
So,
I haven't gone to jail yet, so.
what's that?
I haven't got handcuffed since high school, so we're good.
Oh, dude, I've been handcuffed half a dozen times. Yeah.
Your wife probably has an album full of.
No, dude, she told me outright before we got married. She was like, I don't play about breaking the law. If you get arrested, call someone else. And I firmly believe that I should call my brother if I ever get arrested, because I know he'll come get me. She probably will not. I was a bad kid, dude. I got a record.
Damn.
Yeah.
Your wife told you, I'm not gonna help you.
Yeah, she was straight up. She was like, obviously, like if I didn't do anything wrong, but she's like, if I ever got DUI or anything, like she would be like, nope, sorry, not coming.
So it's cheating, motorcycle, and arrest.
Well, I wouldn't get divorced. I just don't call her.
Oh, so but
No,
she's
you wouldn't
still,
be getting divorced. Just don't call me. Yeah.
she'd be a prison wife.
No, she would 100% divorce me while I was locked up and find some.
So that's the three things.
Really?
Oh yeah.
She don't care about you.
That's not true. She's just ain't gonna wait 10 years because I did something stupid. There's a difference.
So when you get back out, you're gonna get back
Castle
together.
Doctrine. I was on my property. The guy was advancing on me riding a quad. I don't know what you want me to tell you. You would have did the same thing. Yeah. He's lucky I didn't hit her, dude. I was really trying.
That would be crazy if you.
There's no amount of reconstructive surgery to put your shoulder together after getting hit by an arrow like that.
You should have just.
Right? Honey arrow, broadhead. You'll shatter.
If someone goes on your property, you just steal everything they have from them, and then, like one time,
What if they go
like
around?
you should have taken the
Part
quad.
of me wants to know where this is going, and part of me doesn't.
Get them off the quad. Take the
I
quad.
don't want a quad.
Take
That breaks the motorcycle
take
rule. I'm
his
getting
shoes
divorced if I
too.
get a
Take
quad.
his shoes too. Like
What am I doing with his shoes, dude?
sell them out,
Take his
dude.
shoes, you gotta strip him.
Make him walk without
Take his
shame,
wallet.
walk
Take his
shame
phone.
home.
No, we're good.
He's a police guy's son.
Oh my god.
I have a Karen on my
What's
neighborhood.
that noise?
Oh, yeah, we got kind of
No.
one too.
No, I got one that comes on my property and steals my vegetables out of my vegetable garden.
Damn.
I have no trespassing signs on my property now.
Dude, put an electric fence up.
So
Put a rock wall
I
back
put
there.
she got a
Just go over and take your.
she got over 5,000 pellet rounds at her one day.
You shot him?
I shot him.
You shot
And
out
then she called the cops on me. And
Y'all
she
think
was
I'm
like,
nuts.
well, he shot me. And the cop's like, where were you?
I
was in that field over there. And he's like, man, you
probably not
signs are all
South
posted
Alabama,
around
No,
his
I have
property.
a slingshot.
What kind of
Same
vegetables
thing.
The slingshot that has the thing you put on
So
your
I
wrist
had,
and then you
what,
hold
a
it.
couple years ago,
Oh,
I
yeah,
had a
Chris
couple of
Brown.
nice sized tomatoes for like
Those are
meals and sandwiches.
person.
She went in and picked every ripe vegetable I had on in my garden.
Dude, she got
That's
after
fucked up.
Did you?
I went to my local police department and said, found out what I could do.
You should go to your local botanist and get some poison. Put it in the next batch of vegetables.
Nah,
and
but-
Yeah, you can't just poison people, dude.
No, you can't.
You don't have
poison
to-
people. Well,
you don't poison
in-
you're poisoning
in-
the vegetables, you're
where I'm
poisoning
at,
yourself.
My police department
By
said
stealing.
because I have no trespassing signs up, I'm allowed to shoot with non-lethal weapons.
You ever consider buying a pit bull and just throwing them out there?
Justin, if you poison the vegetables and she steals them, she's poisoning herself.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
That would be
it's-
how I get for my poison.
You rather shoot instead
You
of
thought I was crazy
Dude,
when
I
I
would
told the
do
story
that,
this
man.
morning. I
I
just
would
want to make
come
sure you're
after you.
listening, Sarah. Make sure you're listening.
So she doesn't come back on my property after she got 500 rounds from an airsoft gun.
How is shooting more moral than poison?
1,200.
The first time I shot her with an arrow.
I can put that arrow through your eye at 50 yards. I can. I'm very good with the bow.
What I want to know is how good are these vegetables if she's coming back after getting shot?
Dude, should we do like a Hunger Games thing on the
So,
campus? Where I get my bow and I give Magic
most of
Alice
my
a 20-minute head start and I get to
property is
shoot him?
I don't mow most of my property.
What's that?
You don't own
I lease the property out for hay or farther down the
And whatever
street.
you can find in the
I have
building.
nail files.
And I made
Whatever you
comment, I
find
said, what
in
if
the
there was a
building.
bear trap in that tall grass and you didn't see it and now you stepped on it? Now you just lost your leg, now you're gonna sue
Your whole
me.
leg is.
You should bring some of these vegetables over because how good are they if she keeps going back over and over?
That's
Risking her life.
trespassing.
That's
So
not like
once you
that's
cross
not-
over
We're
it,
sucking on this over.
you're automatically,
Hold on,
you're
I-
responsible for it.
Did you hear about?
So I
the
go
hockey
after the
players?
woman, man. I put a bounty on
Oh,
her.
the penguin gun?
The hockey
A bounty on her.
Dude, don't come to my phone and ask for guard.
That was my penguin
I
gun.
feel, I'll come over and steal your shit.
I heard you talking about
But
that.
everyone said that he should have.
So some old lady went into Justin's backyard to steal vegetables and he shot her. And I said, you should poison her. It's more moral.
Dude, you should. That's her fault then.
If she steals
They're
the
very
vegetables
sharp.
and
They
eats
sharpen them
them,
before every game. Yeah.
imagine if she sues Justin for
Take that man.
Those hockey players try to hurt each other.
You stole the shit.
All the time. It's like a tactic.
Dude, my dad, when I was 5,
Don't go
we were
take him by
skating here,
poison.
he ran over my finger with his ice guy. I still got this right over the fingernail, dude.
Gross.
I thought giving myself stitches was bad enough for on some jobs.
Dude, my fucking ID print. I don't fucking
My neighbor was a surgeon, taught me how to stitch myself up.
He said,
Are
here
you
we
done with
go.
my pen? I need my pen back. I'm sorry. I got it over right side. I got a pencil.
Pencils hurt my ears.
What did the left butt cheek say to the right butt cheek?
Like, are you
Oh, I know that one.
When it's not sharp,
Let's
and there's
hold this
that
shit
noise,
together,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? Like, these are good. The mechanical pencils are good.
Dude, they break too fucking easy, man.
Yo, Juan.
It's just like
Did
the
Chris ever tell you that
pencil
joke?
noise.
You were one of the most.
What did the left butt cheek say to the right butt cheek?
It's styrofoam.
Dude,
What did the left
hold
butt
this
cheek
shit
say to the
together.
right butt cheek?
I'm not.
You never heard, Chris never said that?
No.
We together we can stop this shit.
What?
Why everybody get quiet when I?
No, I gotta know the context.
I was talking about some joke Chris would always say about.
What did the left butt cheek say to the right butt cheek?
I thought it was the other way.
That was his favorite
No,
joke.
I thought
He'd say it like
it was
once a week.
hold this shit together. Like,
No, he would say it together we could stop this shit.
let's stop this shit. Yeah, what's up?
Fucked up, man.
Justin, I still think you
I'm
should
not
do it.
repeating the jokes my father
sweater.
told me this past week.
I
For
still
the
think you
next
should put
one more day tomorrow, I'm gonna wear it too. Stop.
Wait, you always should do you should put some poison ivy in there.
On what? On the vegetables?
Yeah.
Is that
The problem is I do have poison ivy on my property.
they feel it's more to
You
shoot
should put it
somebody.
And I did plant it. Did you know you can buy poison ivy seeds to plant poison ivy around your property?
Dude, I wouldn't do that, man. Fucking
Get us some
people
red.
out.
Poison the vegetables.
They grow year round.
Why is shooting better than
perennials?
shooting?
They're considered.
Dude, I would, dude, put poison ivy around the plant.
Not much at all. No one really wants to buy them, to be honest.
This bitch is scurrying around back there. She just be like poison ivy.
My one piece of corner of my property, I had an annoyance neighbor. Found out he's hiding the poison ivy, so I planted it right in the corner of that property. That was another
Such a
guy
dick
that
move.
was a land dispute that I had. He's like, well, this tree's on my property. I got my property surveyed. All the trees that he said are his are mine.
Was he was mad?
He was mad that because he planted them on my property. He planted 16 trees on my property, and I can legally cut them down.
Did
You should do it. This is a fucking.
Actually, I pulled them out of the ground because they weren't fully rooted yet, and I moved them around my property. He got really offended by
You just
that.
place them on your property wherever.
I placed them elsewhere because the problem is when you plant a pine tree 6 feet from another pine tree, there's not enough space for the tree to grow.
He didn't even plant them right.
No, he didn't even plant them right. He planted them like a picket fence,
I
a
would've
live
told him.
fence on my property.
You should have told him, I'll take care of your trees back.
He planted one earlier on his property, and a vine came in and literally wiped the trees out. Well, he didn't take care of them. Then again, he planted them 3 feet apart from one another. So I'm like, it's still not far enough apart. For a tree to grow, needs at least 15 feet from one tree to another.
You should just give the
They were blue spruces. I love blue spruce trees. They're so beautiful, but by the time they're 20 feet tall, the bottom of the tree is all dead branches, and only the top of the tree, which is 4 feet, is all blue. It looks like a stupid blue Q-tip sticking out of the ground. Now I got 16 new blue spruce trees on my property. Nicely spread out.
early Christmas present.
Throw some lights up on
They all have Christmas lights on them.
there.
That all happened last year. They already have the Christmas lights on them from last year. I didn't even, usually what happens is I leave the string in the tree. And I just run a cord out to it when it comes time. I don't trim the trees, I don't do anything until they start dying branches, and I cut them off one by one. I've had a lot of land disputes on my property.
You got a lot of
I was up to almost 10 acres at one point on that property. My grandfather and my grandmother both started selling them off after owning them for 15 years because my grandfather was in the real estate.
Anybody interested in Hands on Friday this week?
I'm probably not.
Anybody interested in Hands on Friday this week?
Why got blue?
Maybe not.
There's a list. There's a long list that will still be going when you, after all of you in this room are long graduates. There's a long list of stuff. So I got stuff. I was debating whether or not I wanted to do it, but I can't do it next week because of Thanksgiving. My anniversary is actually next weekend. And she said, be off Friday and don't plan anything on Saturday. So I don't know what she's got going on, but it's something.
So if I go like from 8 to 10, that's for you this Friday.
Anybody else interested? You don't have to be.
I'm probably not allowed to come.
You might not allow to come. Did you ask?
After Thursday, I'm probably not even allowed in the building.
Actually, technically, the module doesn't end until Friday.
Yeah, the module ends Friday at midnight.
This is my last week.
No, but what, do you do something?
Yo.
You're saying people upstairs don't like it.
He definitely did something. He definitely did something.
I sent them an email about how the career services doesn't really service careers. They just service themselves, kind of stuff. It was a whole
You
thing.
know how Sarah got Chris fired? He's about to get 2 people fired.
Not even trying, but that might happen.
Sorry, you did. You did though. You did. Sorry. You did. That's okay. I'm not mad at you. I would have did the same problem. No, I mean, one of my kids came home and told me that shit. I just was giving.
Yeah, you motherfuckers, you're getting tired slash.
My daughter was there. I was like, this is my teacher's talking about so the porn star and showing us pictures of food. I caught him in the parking lot. I'd have caught him in the parking lot because I would automatically assume that there'd be too much red tape to do it the right way. I'd be like, we'll just handle it.